You are watching the LGBTQ review, where we take an LGBTQ film and we talk about it and we review it a bit.
Yeah.
This week we are looking at Passing.
The short film.
This is a short documentary.
This short film is a documentary about 3 American trans men of colour. Follows their experiences of living in America, being members of the black community but also members of the LGBTQ community.
This was exceptionally hard to find on the internet.
Really hard, yeah.
There's a lot of films called Passing.
If you do want to watch it, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. That's where we saw it. Really hard to have any kind of real criticism of this film. I think it's exceptional.
I thought really good, I thought.
As a kind of like a film educating people about this like minority group within a small group, which is really important. And you could play this in schools or other places like that.
It just feels like a teaser for an actual documentary.
Yeah. I think
rather than a short documentary.
I think if you're just looking at it from the perspective of trying to learn about this group of people and their experience, it's fantastic. As an actual like piece of film or narrative, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's like it's a great start, and then you get 7 to 8 minutes in, and you're expecting like a narrative to kick in, something to happen, and it just doesn't, which is unfortunate. But I understand why. It's only like 20 minutes long. I
think it would be really interesting to see a UK version of this documentary.
There's a scene in the actual film when they're talking about what should we do next. Like, oh, let's follow you as you go somewhere. So they're like, there's nothing really happening. It
was funded through Indiegogo?
Yeah. One of the people in it is also directing it, Lucas. He is one of the 2 directors. It's his first film. The other director out of the 2, he had done some other short films, none of which I had heard of before.
It's really interesting to see, in general, anybody talk about the experience of trans men, because recently everything has been focused on trans women and bathrooms and feminists from the 70s.
Such a small part of a small group, to actually get to focus on that is really important and interesting to hear their stories, because there's so much going on that gets lost, especially within Victor. I think he probably gives the most interesting account what his experiences are.
I liked I can't remember who was talking. I think it was Victor. Was like, it's really important to see yourself reflected in the world. That's true, isn't it?
Yes. BBC.
What I find interesting was that they were discussing masculinity. They were allowing the people around them to construct their masculinity.
Yeah, Victor seemed to, when he was saying like, oh, you've got to be like an alpha and thing.
And like, my girlfriend expects this and her family expects
that.
Yeah.
I never really understood what he wanted. Like if that's what he wanted to be, or if that was just what people wanted him to be. And so he was that. It's a good example of like showing even within the LGBTQ community that, people don't know necessarily about other people in that group.
If everyone was fairly represented in the media,
yeah, they would know.
It wouldn't be a problem, because everybody would know about everything.
Like there was a great documentary about asexuals, and part of it was when they were on a march, an LGBTQ march. A group of gay men were like kind of asking similar questions to which they would have been asked that are just ridiculous to ask someone.
And like, there's no LGBTQ sex education, so what are we going to rate it?
Oh yeah. 4.1 stories about periods.
4.25. 4 minutes, please.
Good for you.
Thank you. You have been watching the LGBTQ review with James and Beth, and
you can follow us on Twitter
at LGBTQ_review.